Welcome to Uncommon Minds, where we sit down with truly amazing innovators and unique practitioners across common fields who think outside the box and carve their own paths to success. I'm your host, Shelly Neal. Let's lean into another great episode right now. When I say the words grit, resilience, humanitarian, and breaking barriers, did you think of a Black female firefighter? You certainly could. And if it wasn't one of the core images you called up, it will be after this episode. My guest today is Shelly Freeman, someone who, in the relatively short period of time I've known her, has become one of my most admired people ever. Shelly's career as a firefighter started 8 years ago in Opelousas, Louisiana. It was in this city where she was the first ever female firefighter. And this was in St. Landry County?
St. Landry Parish.
St. Landry Parish, that's right. She's now a firefighter in Northern Virginia. And not only does Shelly continue to devote herself to putting the safety and the lives of others at the forefront of her career duties, this is a core ethos for her in every part of her life. She really is an inspiration to all women and women of color. Shelly, I have so looked forward to this episode. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Uncommon Minds. It's good to have you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
And it's great to see you too. I'm glad you're safe and sound because you're just coming off of a shift.
Right.
And how long was the shift?
24 hours.
For the people in the back. 24 hours. Thank you for being here. We really do appreciate it. We really do appreciate you. So we usually like to start every episode on Uncommon Minds the same way. It's with our guest's origin story. Where did you start? How do you come to be in the place that you're in now? And for you in particular, first of all, we're going to have different kinds of listeners. We're going to have listeners who might be thinking about this line of work, wanting to get into it. People who are just like, this is so intriguing. I didn't know that, right? People who are curious about it. But what I would love to hear from you specifically is, what was your very first indicator in your life? How old were you? Where were you when you knew that this was what you wanted to do, that you wanted to be a firefighter?
Well, since a kid, actually, we lived nearby a firehouse. And every time we would go to church or go back and forth from place to place, we had to pass by this particular firehouse.
Yeah.
And all of the trucks were named after old firefighters that had served. And I had known all of the names of the fire trucks, even as a kid.
Oh my gosh. How many fire trucks?
I think like 4.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Never knew that the same fire trucks I'm naming, I'm going to be riding in the future.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. So I can just picture your face as you're seeing a fire truck go by and going, oh my goodness, right? There's lights, there's ladders, there's the sound of the siren.
They could have just been parked in the bay and we passing in front. They didn't have to be in action, just hanging out in the bay.
Oh my goodness. And this is what you loved. This is what you were drawn to.
Yeah.
So when did you start forming that in your mind and saying, okay, I love that, but I want to be the person who is inside that truck responding to the call?
Since then, since that childhood, seeing it, I wanted to be on the truck.
Who did you tell first? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Anybody that was within earshot?
No, it wasn't something I just verbalized, but they knew, because I knew all of the fire truck names. So then I liked it.
So you just followed your dream and they were like, this is something that's natural.
Yeah.
We've always known this about her. Did you get a lot of support?
Pictures in front of the same fire trucks years before I was even a firefighter at that firehouse.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
that is really awesome. So did you get a lot of support from the people that were in your world, your family members, as you got older?
Family members, people on my football team, everybody in my circle. Because just a female being a firefighter, that's one thing. But being Black and then in the city for the first time, that was huge. So I had a lot of inspiration, motivation. And to this day, every so often they'll post something on their page, like history of the city. And they'll post that I was the first Black female firefighter in that city, even all these years later.
Oh my goodness. So you were truly an inspiration, not just to anyone who was in that city, but even the state, I'm sure we're looking at you going, she's truly a role model. How many female firefighters in that city since you?
0.
Oh my goodness. So you're still breaking barriers. Even as it's probably why they'll talk about you to this day, because no one has really followed that, because it is a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, there's a challenge involved.
Yeah.
You have to want to do it. It's not for everyone.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about your training experience. Once you got of age, you decided you want to do it, and you got into training. Walk us through the training academy. What are the steps that you take up until you know you've graduated and you can officially call yourself a firefighter? How does that work?
Well, it was way different in Louisiana than for Virginia. In Louisiana, had to run a mile and a half, do some push-ups, some sit-ups.
Just 10?
So I think the run was the hardest thing, the mile and a half.
Yeah.
Everything else was easy to do because I already work out.
Are you running just with your body weight, or are you wearing weights?
No, I ran just with body weight.
Okay. And is it, you have to do it in a timed fashion? You have to do it in a certain time?
Yeah.
Okay. And so everything else, as far as the push-ups and the sit-ups, were pretty standard. But you are already...
Because I already work out.
You already were fit.
But the running part, I had to put time in to be good at that. Because I didn't want to just go in and just be the last one. I wanted to finish with a good time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. So when you look around you at the other candidates that were training along with you, was there the same sort of level of fitness, or were they struggling a little bit more or less depending on, what their backgrounds were and how their level of physical fitness?
Oh, they had a few that just didn't make it.
Oh, wow.
And they passed everything but the run.
Oh, my goodness.
Make the run. So, yeah.
Wow. How many of you were in your class of candidates when you started out, as opposed to how many were there when you finished?
7 tried. And we kept 4.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. So that's actually pretty good. Only 3 people didn't make it, but it was already a small group. So that tells you about the physical challenge and also the emotional and mental challenge. Did you ever run into a period of time during training where you felt, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can push through, where it just got to be so difficult that it challenged every aspect of it for you?
No, not at all.
Where do you think that comes from, that resilience, that toughness?
Working out really hard. And encountering my biggest challenge through training. So when I'm in the real scenario, it's like I've already encountered the challenge already.
And was your upbringing a big part of sort of what made you so resilient and enough to face those kinds of challenges?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
Because
so.
it's very unusual. Very, very unusual. I'm picturing you at home at 5 years old and your mom going, give me 50 more. To be able to get you at this point.
No, it wasn't like that. They set a good example. They didn't really demand you do things.
Yeah.
They was the example that they wanted to see. So we were in the church. My dad was a preacher. My mother's a teacher. So they did the right things and led good examples. So you want to be a good person just because of what you saw, no matter what you became,
Yeah.
So,
but that I'm also hearing this similarity in terms of public service. Does it feel like it was a calling for you?
Yeah. It's like the ultimate sacrifice to give your life to somebody you don't even know, a total stranger that probably don't even like you, never met you, but you're ready to give it all for them. Yeah.
And that is obviously something I already know. I can only imagine those were challenges that you have come up against in your line of work. Having to save a life for somebody who probably didn't want you there.
Oh, yeah. Especially in Louisiana. Yeah.
Is there a particular example that you can share without saying a name of a time where you had to go in for a call and...
Yeah, they had this particular call. The lady was, she was having a miscarriage and she was experiencing a lot of heavy bleeding, but they were from a place where only another lady can touch the ladies. No guys can touch. So, there were no females on the call. And the guy said, I don't want any of you touching my wife.
Oh, wow.
She's experiencing a miscarriage and she's bleeding out.
Yeah.
Another time we was on a call. If you're not the right color, I really don't want you touching mom. But when you're used to stuff like that, it's not a big deal. You expect that. I'm not here for that. I'm here to help, save a life. See why someone called 911.
Yeah.
So you got to look beyond that, because if you're here for the people, then you don't care what they think about you, because you're not even here for that.
It's a different level of resilience, Shelly. It's a completely different level of resilience. There's the mental, physical, emotional resilience that you have to have by virtue of being in the profession. And then you get to a call and you're faced with something like that, which challenges you to your core. Again, on top of that, that is fascinating. That is fascinating. And I think I marvel, and in the intro when I talked about how you're one of my most admired people ever, this is exactly what I'm talking about. To be able to shift gears, to be able to put that to the side and say, I'm still here, I still have a job to do, and I'm still going to hold my head up high. Because you can't break down. Of all the things you can do, that's not one of them. Certainly not someone in your position. So hats off to you for being able to do that and not knowing what you're getting into in any call. So you never know if you're going to show up and that's it, right? That's it. I want to talk a bit about reality versus expectations when it comes to the job, because is that sort of thing stuff that they tell you when you're in training academy? That might happen, that you may get a call where you may be faced with that kind of challenge?
Oh, yeah, different. Yeah, they warn you about the different things you could face, calls. Yeah.
It's also very different when you get into it, though.
Yeah.
Right? Especially when you're a newbie. So there is a lot about firefighting that people don't know. A lot of nuance to it, a lot of context. I want to play a little bit of a game, and this game is called Fact or Fiction. So I'm going to share some things that I discovered in my research for this episode, and I want you to respond, whether it's fact or fiction.
Sure.
Okay? And I want a couple of members of our crew to respond too, so they're going to guess and say whether it's fact or fiction. So we're going to hear in the background possibly a couple of people saying whether it's fact or fiction, or maybe they won't say it. They'll just hold their hand up, right? So it's fact, you go like this, thumbs up. If it's fiction, you go like this, okay? And that way we can figure out who's going to be right. And then you tell us, you set us straight at the end. Let's talk a little bit about the gear, the things that you wear, the attire that you have to wear, including the tools. When the gear, including the tools that you have to wear when you respond to a call, amounts to 10 to 15 things. There are 10 to 15 things that you have to wear when you are responding to a call. Fact or fiction? Crew members, they say fact. 10 to 15 things that you have to wear when you respond to a call. Shelly, is that fact or fiction?
Things that you have to wear?
Yes.
I wouldn't say 15 things that I have to wear.
You wouldn't say 15? What would you say?
I have to have my helmet. I have to have my hood. I have to have my coat.
3,
my pants.
4,
my boots.
Okay.
My air pack.
Okay.
And then face piece.
Okay.
And then everything else would be tools.
Okay. So 7 have to wears, and then everything else is so it's fiction. Those aren't the have to wears.
Gloves,
but it also gloves. Okay, now we're going up, and you got to wear socks, right? Please tell me you're not rolling in there with them boots with no bare feet. You got to have on some socks. Am I right?
So people go without socks,
Oh my gosh. Whatever works. But does it depend on the call? The gear that you wear, does that depend, and tools you carry, does it depend on the call you're going on, or just standard?
Yes, absolutely. If we're going on a gas leak, you have different tools than if we're going on an elevator call.
Okay.
So
just varies depending on that.
Right.
How much does everything weigh?
Just my pants and my helmet, my coat. Guess it's about 30 pounds.
30 pounds for just your pants, helmet, and coat.
And all of the tools that I have in my pocket. Yeah.
That's 30 pounds. Okay, let's add on.
The irons, that's the Halligan bar.
Okay.
And the axe.
Okay.
It's about another 20 pounds.
Okay.
My air pack.
Okay.
It's about 15 pounds.
Wow.
If not more.
Okay.
And yeah, now let's go to work.
So we're up to what, 60, 65?
Yeah.
Wow. That's intense. You get a call that is in a building and the elevator is out. And there is a fire on the 8th floor. All the things that you named are going with you up those 8 floors?
Yes. Oh, a little more if we have a fire.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you get the picture, folks. We're talking about a lot of weight here. Standard, and then you, depending on the call, and it's a fire and you have to save a life and their elevator is out. We can do that math.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for being you and thank you for your service. Another fact or fiction question. A common schedule a firefighter works. A common schedule may not be the only. There are various schedules, but a common schedule that you might find that a career firefighter works is from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. with an hour for lunch. Fact or fiction? What say you? Okay. Everybody's saying that's fiction. That's fiction. Set us straight, Shelly.
Well, if you was listening in the beginning,
Okay.
we clarified that it was a 24-hour shift.
Yeah, well, that could have been your shift. Did you have anybody working 9 to 6 with an hour for lunch? No. Evidently not. No. Doesn't happen. So, folks, don't go in here thinking that you're going to have a desk job at some point or there's some kind of a rotation. Nobody teleworks in this profession. All right. The Candidate Physical Ability Test, the CPAT, is that what you call it?
Mm-hmm.
This is another fact or fiction question. This is designed differently for women than it is for men. Fact or fiction? Is the CPAT designed differently for men than it is for women? Fact or fiction? Okay, we have one fact and one fiction. Shelly, what is it? Is it designed differently for men than it is for women?
No, it is not.
Okay, it's the same test.
Yes.
Across the board.
Either you can pass it or you can't.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Like fact or fiction, one part of the CPAT includes a timed segment where candidates wear weighted vests while they are carrying a 165-pound dummy drag to simulate what it might be like to carry an injured person from a fire while you're wearing your gear. Is that fact or fiction? All right, the crew is saying it's fact. I'm saying it's fiction. What do you say?
There's some fact and fiction in there.
Okay.
You do have to drag a dummy, but we don't have to wear a vest while doing it.
Okay. All right. What do? Are you just wearing your regular shirt and pants, or?
The vest we wear is the stair climb at the beginning.
Okay.
After you get off the stair climb, you take the vest off, and then you do the rest of the CPAT. Dummy drag is all after that.
And is the dummy drag 165 pounds?
Yeah, it's about that.
So this is to simulate as though you're taking a person who is not able to walk and you're carrying them out.
Mm-hmm.
Is it on a level, flat space, or is it okay?
Yeah, you're dragging them on the ground a distance around a barrel and then back.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. And this is timed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. I'm not even going to ask you what the time is because I think we can probably imagine that it is something wild and insane.
It have to be done within 10 minutes.
Okay, yeah, wild and insane that not your average person wouldn't be able to do. That is so incredible.
It is difficult. Some people breeze through it like it was very easy, but for me, that test was harder than having kids.
Oh my gosh.
I've never been physically challenged like for that test.
Wow. That is amazing. And I'm sure you have people who are there who have tried it multiple times because you have to pass, but there's some people who don't pass.
Right.
They come back and they try it again.
I didn't pass it the first time.
Really?
Really.
Did you pass it the second? Did it take twice? Did you have to take it twice? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I went and saw what I needed to work on and went and perfected all of that because I wanted to do this, and this is what you have to do to be a firefighter. So
how much time in between your first and second test? Do they tell you have to wait a certain amount of time, or?
I think it was like a month. I took it the next month.
Okay. Yeah. And you must have been super happy when you passed it. You're like, gosh, I'm going to take it one more time. I have to drag that 165 pounds.
You don't want to do that ever again.
No. Oh, my goodness. But, I have to tell you, it's one thing to do it, in a test scenario, like you're saying, is another thing. You're in a real life scenario. And this 165-pound is a real person. And it just puts everything into a different perspective. What, I'll get to that question in a minute, but I do want to share some other additional facts that I think are really important for our listeners to know about. This is a field, and I think we've established that, where very few people look like you. Very few people are Black women in this field. The National Fire Protection Association 5 years ago did a study. So this is in 2020. There were 364,300 career firefighters in the United States. And we're going to drill down from there. In that same year, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics reported that of that number, 13.1% were Hispanic or Latino, 8.4% were African American, 4.4% were female or women, 1.2% were Asian. Less than 1% of firefighters, career firefighters, are Black women. And it's estimated today that number is as few as 500 in the entire United States, or as few as 500 Black female firefighters.
Wow.
Now we know why Opelousas didn't have anybody that looks like you that came after you, right? I mean, you might have been $4.99.
Yeah.
That's not something you think about, though, when you're going in to save a life.
Not at all.
And this is why it's so important for people to know the humanitarian aspect of this work. Yeah. You think about that a lot every day?
Yeah. I'm happy with what I do. I know if I'm helping someone, I'm doing what I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
So both of my jobs reflect that.
Mm-hmm.
I have to like people to do what I do.
Yeah.
Some people don't like people. Me, I'm the exact opposite. Like, if people weren't around, where's my purpose? Because I have to help people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's amazing. I just think it's brilliant. When you first became a firefighter, what surprised you in your first days? What did you find surprising? Something that, you know what, I really did not know that was going to happen, or I really did not expect that.
It's not what you see on the TV shows.
Yeah.
That's not real. You can see
Chicago fire.
No, inside of a house fire, you can't see. On TV, you can see everywhere where you're going, talking with people, like everything is just clear. One of my first experiences in Louisiana was realizing that the shows aren't real, because I didn't realize that the shows weren't real till I was put in those scenarios. Inside a house, can't see anything. I'm like, that's not what I saw on TV. We're supposed to be able to see in here. And then I'm like, so a lot of people think what they see on the shows is how it actually is, and everything isn't true about that.
Is there anything else that we're seeing on those shows that's very untrue? Because I'm always marveling at the fact that there was, and I can't remember if this was in the 90s, but there was a movie out called Backdraft.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was talking about this movie and how realistic it was in terms of, really depicting the life of a firefighter and the experiences that firefighters go through. And I remember when I saw the movie, I was stunned. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. So I literally did walk out thinking this is really, truly what it is.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I'm talking about like the shows that come on.
The shows that are on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good shows.
Yeah. It's entertainment.
And they're entertainment.
Yeah.
It's not all true.
The thing with the movie that got me the most is they're doing an awful lot of talking when they're in there. They're able to say a whole lot. They're able to...
It's so loud on the fire scene. You're talking loud, you're screaming, you still can't hear the next person. It's just so much chaos. You can't hear that well at all. You can't even see where you're going. You don't even know who's in front of you.
So that's fascinating. What do you wish people really understood or understood more about firefighters that they don't?
I thought it would be a whole lot more fire calls than EMS. And it's not. 8 out of 10 calls is EMS.
Okay.
And down there, all we ran was fire calls. So we knew if the tones went off, we go into either a wreck or a fire call. Over here, you know,
it's a lot more.
Each dropped 10 times. One was probably a legit call.
Yeah. But you're getting calls about, people who have passed out or people who have fallen or like legitimate, like medical calls is what you said when you're saying EMS calls.
I'm saying up here, it's more EMS than fire.
Right. And describe what an EMS call is. What kinds of calls are you getting?
Just people saying they want to go to the hospital. Anything that's not fire related is EMS.
Okay.
My leg hurt. I want to go to the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
My back is hurting. My stomach hurts.
Wow. Yeah. That's a very, very, very different scenario to be in. You're literally coming from one extreme to the other, right? Do you have a sense of why that is in the different regions? Why it is that you're getting more of one type of call in one region as opposed to another?
I think it's the fire protection, the safety of everything. People have smoke detectors, so their house is safe.
Okay.
It's safe from fire. Everything is safe, up to date, but their health is still declining.
Okay.
One of these days, they're going to get old. Your house still good, but you might have to call 911 for something way before you have to call for, like, my house is on fire.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And that's across the board.
That's pretty fascinating. I think it'll be interesting to sort of know across the United States what different regions have more of, because I'm sure it really depends on the state of living there, but also what kinds of people are living in certain areas, right? If you have a lot more elderly people living in certain areas or younger people living in certain areas, if you've got, wealthier neighborhoods as opposed to not, what kinds of calls are you getting? I think is a very interesting distinction.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. It again, and I'm asking fact or fiction, and is this true? Because I realized when I was doing research for this that there's so many different pieces of information about this particular career. When you mentioned that it wasn't until you really got into a real life situation that you realized it wasn't like what it was on television that you saw, I would imagine that a lot of young people who are interested in this work are probably going to experience something similar. Have you had a lot of experiences where you've had an opportunity to share some guidance with younger people who are interested in this and to sort of talk to them about what they want, what they might expect and to prepare them for what they need to know?
We'll go to the schools and talk to the kids, and based on the questions that they'll ask, we'll tell them things like that. But based on who we go to talk to, you want to get a question based on the age. Like the little kids will ask certain questions different than the bigger kids will ask. Anytime we go to the school to talk to the bigger kids, all they want to know is, how much money you make? So they don't really care about none of that. The little kids, they have all of the fun things we can tell them, and they care about the stories. But yeah, it just depends the crowd that you're talking to.
The older kids want to know, is it worth it? Am I going to be able to?
And how much, as soon as you tell them the salary, I don't want to do that. Yeah. We're definitely not in it for, if you're in it for the money, don't be a firefighter.
Yeah. That's incredible. What would you say to someone who's interested in being a firefighter? If you're in it for the money, don't be a firefighter, but if you're in it for what? Be a firefighter.
If you like to help people, really be a firefighter. You have to at least like people and want to help them.
Yeah.
Got to.
Yeah. I think that's, it exponentially. If you like people and want to help them no matter what, if they're in dire circumstances and life and death circumstances, how do you keep your balance? How do you balance this job that demands so much of you with the other areas of your life? What is it that you do to help relieve some of that and maintain your own sense of balance and perspective in the world?
My second job as a personal trainer, yes.
Yes. Tell us about that.
Basically, even if I had a bad day at work, up all night, coming back to help people again, give back, train. It's like that erases the bad night every time, no matter what type of shift we had. When I come back and train people, it balances all that out. So I figure without that, I don't know how things would be. But because I have that, it's like one hand is kind of washing the other.
Yeah. But you're also taking care of yourself too, because as a trainer, it means that your own physical fitness has to be at a certain level. But what it also means is that you're still going, you're still moving. So how do you, for example, leave a shift that you were on for 24 hours, and then do you take a break? Do you relax for a day and then go and train the next day after you relaxed for a day?
Well, really, right after I leave work, my next session will start at 8:30.
Wow.
So straight from Alexandria and on to the second job. But it's not a challenge because it's kind of like not work. You know, I can't do it every day, get off working straight. But every other day I can do that, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. It's not every day I'm getting off and we was up all night and then I have to train people.
Yeah.
So if we get 2 or 3 hours of sleep, it's still not bad. I can still get up the next day and my body adapted to that. That's my lifestyle. So it's not like, oh, are you able to do this? My body know I've been doing this for years, so it know this is what we do. So I'm able to roll with that.
That truly an uncommon mind. Truly an uncommon mind. I think what's fascinating too, Shelly, is that you are so who you are and you're so authentic to who you are that it's normalized for you that this is your life, right? This is your way of life. With people like me and you know, others who are going to be watching the show, they're just going to be so fascinated when they hear what you do. You are literally a real life superhero. You know, you really are. I mean, listen, I already know my daughter has a little, which you gave us, a little, you know, miniature version of that helmet, which is amazing, which she loves to put on as she's running around the house. But, you know, it's another thing to actually know what it's truly about. It is, however, good to know that there is something outside of the work that brings you joy.
Yes.
That brings you peace. But you're also helping others.
That's the main part.
Yeah.
It's not just having a second job. I have to go back and still do something I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I asked you once a question about, I think we were talking about if someone's on the side of the road and they had a flat tire and they were in need and you had somewhere to be and you were driving. I said, what would you do? And your answer was?
So what did I say?
You can remind me. I want you to say it.
You remember what I said?
I do remember what you said, but I want you to say it.
Well, let me see if you remember what I said.
I was stopping up.
Well, of course.
You said it just in that way. I stopped up.
Well, yeah.
And I was thinking, what if you had to go somewhere? What if you had to be somewhere? What are you talking about? There's a person in need. And that's all you would see is that person in need.
Yeah. They need help.
That's fascinating.
You have to be the person that you would want somebody to be for you. And if you can't be that person, then...
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you a question that this is the sort of the signature question that we always ask at the end of the show. And for you, it is, what uncommon life perspective have you gained because you are in so many close encounters and you're facing the balance of life and death, literally on the job? What life perspective have you gained as a result of that reality?
That you can be doing everything right and still die.
You can be doing everything right and still die.
Yeah. I can check off every box and dot every I, cross every T, and then still not make it home. Tough.
And that is something that all of you and your company members are faced with every single day. Every single call you go out on, even the EMS calls.
Yep.
Because you just never know what's going to happen and what's awaiting you.
Usually you check every box and do everything right. Supposed to find success, but that might not happen with us. But that's not in the back of our minds. If we worried about that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your wisdom your experience. Thank you for being who you are, for your service and all the things that you do.
You're welcome.
And thank you for keeping yourself safe so that you can walk the walk and be that model for people who are looking to be exactly like you, because they are out there, and that 500 is going to keep going up, and you're not always going to be in that number.
Yeah.
So other people have to come after you and do exactly what you're doing. But just thank you for being an inspiration to those of us who don't do that work, because what it does for us is we're able to see it and say, listen, if there's someone who can do that, then I can do this. I can push through this headache. I can get up if I'm feeling a little bit this or a little bit that, or I can just listen to signs and see signs, you know? I think it's incredible, and I'm glad I know you.
Oh,
I'm glad you're an uncommon mind that I know.
thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Uncommon Minds, where we celebrate the thinkers, the makers, the dreamers, and the humanitarians who see the world differently. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow, rate us, share it, and subscribe. And share it with your friends, anybody who you think could use a little inspiration. Until next time, stay curious, stay creative, and keep thinking uncommon. Thanks to our crew for another amazing episode. Our managing producer was Cheryl Tuesday. This episode was written by me, Shelly Henriquez-Neal. Our video and sound crew were Raina Wren and Little Ladybug Films.